Hello, friends and followers. Here's a Tech Paragon 1 that I've been working on, and display wasn't working too good. So anyway, I bought a new display for it, and here's a display. That didn't solve the problem. What I found here was every single digit here was lighting up. So these are all lit. And when you turn the dial, you could see that it kind of changing. So it was kind of, the computer was working. The CPU on the outer display board was indeed working, but I wasn't getting any decent, I guess this goes like this actually. I wasn't getting any decent blanking here. So apparently there's a reset circuit, and I read on a 10Tech forum on groups, I think it was 10techgroups.io, one of those, that there's C8 and C9 on this board, which turned out to be correct. So here's the actual display board that I've been working on, and it turns out these little capacitors go bad. These are for the voltage doubler, tripler, and I had voltage in this thing. It had a good output. Display was bright, but all digits were on. So anyway, what's critical is this is a 2.2 UF capacitor here, and I replaced it. So that, I guess, had gone bad. And this has an RC circuit on it. So I think that when you boot this thing up, the RC waits for the CPU to kind of get into a certain mode, and then it'll have an RC function to reset this at the right moment. I'm guessing that's how it works. I don't really know, but that was critical. So I placed this capacitor here and this one here, replace this one here. I think that's C8 and C9, or C9 and C8. Anyway, if your display is all lighting up with all digits, replace this capacitor here. And it took an electrolytic, but I found a 2.2 PF non-polarized, I'm sorry, a 2.2 UF non-polarized in my capacitor kit from Bojack. So on Amazon, so I put that in there. I had one of these laying around from my last Paragon, so I put that in there. And I'm going to put in 3 more caps. So I've had these laying around from my last Paragon. These are the actual ones for the voltage doubler, voltage tripler, and these will give you more brightness if you replace these. So, yep, can replace those. They had these little 4.7s in here. And I'm going to put in these larger ones, and that should get this Paragon back up and running. What I would love to do, though, is make a Frankenstein Paragon in that over here I have this Omni 6 Plus. I almost want to take the display out of this one as an experiment and attach the display to this Paragon and see if it'll work. That would be cool, to buy parts from an Omni 6 and make this Paragon into an Omni 6 as far as the display goes. I love the LED display on this guy here. It's really great. I'm not a great fan of this fluorescent display, but it is what it is. I do love how the Paragon 1 and 2 have all band receive and really, really good AM. I love how they receive AM. Okay, well, that's my little story here. Yeah, so I want to show the capacitors I put in here. So I've kind of been buying stuff from Amazon, from Bojack, and this little capacitor kit, these are only 50 volt capacitors, but I figured there's not 50 volts in there really on the reset, so I did use this 2.2 UF here for replacing that RC capacitor for the reset on the CPU on display board. So that worked out quite well, and you can see these are just little capacitors that the Chinese did a great job with these, that's for sure. It's really, you know, we kind of bash the Chinese, but no reason to. And I bought these capacitors for repairing the military radio. I tend to need a lot of these. So anyway, I just have a bunch of little parts here that I've collected to repair amateur radios that I tend to buy and use, and sometimes resell, and sometimes keep. So this is the collection lately of what's going on around here. Haven't really had time to really mess with these a whole lot, so I'm working hard at work, but sometimes I'll take time to fix one of these and give it a go. Anyway, that's the Tentec Paragon 1 that I have here. And again, this is about the display board issue, and I have a lot of static in my house, so just touch one of these things before I touch anything else. Ground myself and I move around here. There we go. And yeah, here's the little display board again. So if you don't get display, if digits are all lit up, I found this capacitor was out, so replace that one. And this one here, I suppose. And now I'm doing the, I'm replacing the voltage doublers. As you can see, they're out. So I'll put those in. Here's the back side of the board. So it looks like they added a diode to this board and a wire. So there was like a fix to it. This must be an early Paragon 1. Display board looks a bit undecided, but I didn't really mess with the fix. I figured it was Tentec and not some person putting that in there and left it there, and sure enough the board came back. So happy about that. I paid $80 for a display, which was way too much, but it turns out I needed the bottom part, which is the actual fluorescent part. It turns out mine was a bit defective, so it all worked out. I finally got this radio working for around $80 as far as the parts, so now I can use it and have some fun with it. So that's about it. And yeah, if you're going to get things out, you want to have a solder sucker. So I just been sucking solder and using the old Weller here, which I've had for years. I've had this thing for like over 30 years, but it's still working. I don't tend to really leave it on unless I want to do something with it. Don't let it sit there and just tick, tick, tick. And it does a pretty good job to fix these boards. I don't like desoldering things, but if you are going to desolder it, just be careful. Don't overheat it and don't break traces and you'll be all set. Anyway, that's about it for my Technician 101 here. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.